So as soon as I saw the trailer for this film, no, as soon as I saw the poster for this film, it was automatic. I knew I was going to see it. I knew I was going to cover it, talk about it. But how did it turn out? Let's see. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone? And welcome back to another great episode of Just My Opinion for my Shirley movie review on Netflix. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, now we have Shirley, which is debuting on Netflix March the 22nd of 2024. The film is PG-13 and 1 hour and 57 minutes. Described as a biography, drama, and a history piece. And like I said in my intro, I knew I was going to talk about this film. I knew that it was going to be fire. Not only because it is about Shirley Chisholm, who is a very, very important political figure. She passed away in 2005. Rest in peace, my sister. That just really paved the way for women, especially Black women, back in '68 when she was the first Black African-American woman elected into Congress and ran for the president of the United States in 1972. But also because it stars Miss Regina King. Yes, Miss Regina King. I'm a big fan of her work. If you don't know, you should know already. This woman right here is an Oscar winner for If Beale Street Could Talk. She won the Best Supporting Actress in 2019. If you have not seen that film, you are missing out right now. I think it's just 100% fire. But she is also, of course, just not an actress. She is also a producer and director. She did direct One Night in Miami, which came out, I believe, in 2019 or 2020. If you want to check out the review on my channel, you can. But this woman is highly talented. And so with Shirley Chisholm and Regina King being the centerpiece of this film, I was going to jump all over it. Now, this is being directed by Mr. John Ridley. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. And if we just scroll down and look at his filmography, of course, he's directing Shirley. He also directed Needle in a Time Stack, which I haven't seen, Certified Black Genius, a few episodes of Godfather of Harlem, and a Gorilla TV miniseries, which I have not seen any of those. But if you have and you think these are pretty good, please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, as far as my expectations were concerned, they were super duper high. I wanted two things from this film. I wanted a great performance from Regina King. I wanted an Oscar-worthy performance. And I also wanted to know more about Shirley Chisholm and her presidential campaign from things that I did not already know before I pressed play on this. Also, shout out to Lance Reddick. He passed away last year, March 17th of 2023. This was the last film that he was a part of before he passed away. He did a great job in this film, and I will talk about that more during the review. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film Shirley is all about. The intimate portrayal of trailblazing political icon Shirley Chisholm, the first Black congresswoman and the first Black woman to run for president of the U.S., and the cost of accomplishment for Shirley herself. The film will tell the story of Chisholm's boundary-breaking and historic presidential campaign, based on exclusive and extensive conversations with family, friends, and those who knew her best. So the first thing I want to talk about is what this film is not. This is not a biopic about Shirley Chisholm, her younger years, and how she grew up into womanhood, covering her whole life from beginning to end. It is not that at all. The film is only about 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it is pretty laser focused and starts out immediately when she is elected into Congress in 1968, and then the following scene as she makes her announcement that she's going to be running for president of the United States in 1972. I really do like how focused the film is and doesn't waste any time on things that may not be as important as this movement that she's making. And that is one of the better highlights of this film early on within just the first few moments. Also, like I said, rest in peace, Mr. Lance Reddick. Everybody knows him from The Wire. I did not really watch that show. I saw clips here and there, but I know him from the John Wick series. From the little that I've seen of Lance Reddick, he was a fantastic actor. Rest in peace, my brother. And I'm just bringing him up now because besides Miss Regina King herself, he was one of the better performers in this film. I love this portrayal of her presidential advisor. He was playing the role of Wesley Mac Holder, her fiercely loyal presidential advisor, and he knocked it out of the park. Even towards the end of the film, where they were showing real life footage, images of the people, it looked like it was his twin brother. Seriously. I was like, wow, they did a great job with casting, and not only just casting a phenomenal actor. And I'm not just saying that because the man passed away. He did a great job in this film, and I will say that he got second place, if not first, besides Regina King, but he was fantastic. And again, rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace. But Regina King was still great. Of course, I will talk about if I feel that this is Oscar worthy or not, and not necessarily saying that it had to be. I think she just had to do a great job, and she did do a great job. I didn't expect anything less coming from Regina King, and she does deliver. One of the things that I love about her portrayal of Shirley Chisholm is just how she showed how resilient the woman was. She did not take no for an answer at all. No matter if something seemed difficult or hard, it didn't matter. She was going to bust down the door and get the job done. She was not afraid of the word no. She did not accept the word can't, and she didn't take no crap from nobody at all, whether it was her family, her presidential advisor, her husband, people going against her in the political campaign. It did not matter what the opposition was. Shirley Chisholm was not taking no for an answer. And I just think that is phenomenal, especially given the time that this took place. It is in 1968, 1970, 1972. She's a woman and Black at that, and she was just fearless. And I have nothing but respect for her. I wish I had an opportunity to meet her just from watching this movie, because we can all learn some things from her. I know that I can. And it's just a shame that many people do not know who this woman is. And I'm glad that this film was made just so that people can get an important figure in history and know all of the great deeds that she did to try to push women and people of color, specifically Black people, forward in this country. And not only that, her main campaign was "I am unbothered and unbought." Also, she did not just speak for women. She did not just speak for Black people or minorities or people of color. She made a very vivid point at the very beginning of this film that that was not her position. That's not what she was called for. She was for the people, all people. However, she did make sure that you knew that she would do specific things for different groups of people. And I think that's how all presidential candidates should be. Usually when it comes to Black people in our community, every 4 years or however often you vote, depending on you, depending on the person, they say, hey, is this person going to do anything for Black people? Some that may be a little sleepier than others may say, well, I think that the president should do things for all people. Yes, I agree with you 100%. All presidents should do things for all people. However, that is just an umbrella over the top. Under that umbrella, they should still do specific things for each individual group that is going to help them out, that is going to push them forward and help them thrive. And Shirley Chisholm in this film, played by Regina King, of course, did a great job, like I said, of illustrating that and making that point very, very clear. Another thing that I thought about this film was great was the pacing. It was very fast, it was very swift, and it did not waste any time at all. You never got bored. To me, it was very obvious that they trimmed down a lot in this film, left a lot on the cutting room floor because they wanted this film to flow as smooth as possible. If anything, I would say that this film needed to be longer to flesh some more things out that I felt that was important, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the pacing in this film was fast, like the speed of light itself. I also like the accent of Regina King in this film. She did not just sound like Regina King when it comes to the look, her voice, and or accent. She had a parent from Guyana and Barbados. She was born in New York City and graduated high school from here as well. But she had a Bajan accent. Please forgive me if I'm not saying that correctly. But that came in and out. And also the script made note of that as well. So depending on what mood that she was in or room, depending on her company, would determine if she was more erect, if she was slouching down, whether she was talking more slang, more professional, more articulate, whatever. It went in and out, and that just made her character seem more human, more relatable than just some uppity political figure that we're used to seeing pop up in the media all of our lives. I don't even want to call her stubborn, but I will say that she was very sure with what she wanted and how she was going to accomplish that, whether her presidential campaign team agreed with her or not. And this film does focus on that a ton, just the whole political race, all the ins and outs, all of the backroom deals and or conversations, and really just shows some light on how difficult the whole process can be. And it is just nonstop 24/7. You cannot rest. But also, I like the fact that they showed how important her meals were and her private lunchtime. That is not to be interrupted. She did like McDonald's. When she's taking a lunch break, leave her alone and let her have her meal. I don't know why they focused on that so much, but I got a lot of humor out of that and just something else that I did appreciate just to more humanize the character. And of course, there was brief flashes of old footage. I don't know if it was real footage or a reenactment, but it did feel like a period piece in time, like we were going back in the past, looking at all of these programs on old television sets, etc. I did appreciate that well and added a nice little aesthetic to the overall movie. But those are the things that I really did enjoy about the film. Now let me just talk about some things that I don't want to say was bad, but the film could have just fleshed out more. This film is only 1 hour and 45 minutes, and I think that's the biggest mistake. Actually, let me correct myself, 1 hour and 57 minutes. And if they would have added maybe 20 to 30 more minutes, that may seem like a long time, but I really feel like that would have helped the film, because there were a number of things in this movie that I felt were brushed over that they should have taken a bit more time to develop and cook. There were a number of scenes dealing with her and her husband Conrad and the downfall and how they had a falling out. Also between Shirley and Huey P. Newton, the leader of the Black Panthers. Also the conversations with Shirley's sister and mother. Her sister was named Muriel. These were important figures, important people in Shirley's life that helped motivate her or halted her in her race to become the president. And I just feel that they were just really brushed over. And also during these scenes, I wanted a bit more acting. I wanted a bit more oomph. I wanted a bit more gravitas. And I feel like I didn't get that. The performances weren't bad at all, but I know that Regina King has more under her belt that she can deliver as far as a performance is concerned. There were brief moments of a great Oscar-worthy performance. I just wanted more of it, and these scenes could have illustrated that to a higher degree than we actually got in the final product, and that's just kind of a bummer to me. Also, if you know the story of Shirley Chisholm and everything that went down with her presidential campaign, there was a lot of hope that was behind a lot of it, but it all felt short. She was not getting the support from Black voters and youth that she thought she would, and I wish that they would have delved on that a little bit more as well. But again, it was just kind of brushed over. They were asking the questions, why am I not getting these votes? Why am I not getting the support? But I really felt like they should have went down a rabbit hole to hear from the people on exactly why she was not getting the support that she initially thought she was. All of these were just missed opportunities for me, and also were opportunities to bring out that great performance that I know that Regina King is capable of, but I just feel that it was a missed opportunity. Still does not mean that the film is bad. I'm not saying that it sucked. It just did not reach my expectations as far as an overall story is concerned, and that great knockout the park home run performance that I really wanted at the very beginning of this. I just also wanted to add that as far as her struggle is concerned, Shirley Chisholm, as she's running for president, the film seemed like it was just watered down a bit as far as how difficult the whole process was, especially with her dealing with racism. Yes, there were brief moments to where she did deal with racism, hatred, and or bigotry, but I didn't think it hit the nail on the head as hard as it could have. Still a great film, and I think everyone should see this, especially if you just want to see Regina King and support her. Lance Reddick, Terrence Howard as well. I know that this was one of the last films that he shot before his retirement, which is very sad. He did a great job in this too. I just wanted a little bit more from the greatness that we got. My expectations, I guess, were just too high for this film. And sometimes when your expectations are too high, that can determine how you feel about it overall, but still great. And I really did enjoy it, and I recommend it to everybody. I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, guys. But for now, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And also, guys, guys, this Sunday and every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. CST, I will be going live on this same YouTube channel with my Movie News Roundup show, where I compile all of the weekly news that has to do with entertainment and movie news and have somewhat of a live talk show going over each topics. Again, that's this Sunday and every Sunday, 6:30 p.m. CST. So if you like this review, if you like this video and you want to tune in to the Movie News Roundup, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. But now it's rating time. But guys, if I had to rate Shirley on Netflix out of a 1 out of 10, I'm leaning somewhere between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. 7.5 and an 8 out of 10, but I'll go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. Yes, an 8 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.